to a higher cause. The quality of the action is par excellence. You find this in the area of sport. Any sports person, whether it is a tennis player, a cricketer, a basketball player, or whatever it be, you can spot dedication as against selfishness. A cricketer who's looking at the scoreboard and waiting to achieve 50 or 100, why? So that he can raise his demand on endorsements, will never achieve it. But a cricketer who's dedicated to playing for the sake of playing, dedicated to the game of cricket, will have a completely different flavor to his game. And so also with all of us. Remember one thing, it's not, you can't fake it. You can't fake excellence. You can't fake dedication. Either you have it or you don't have it. And if you don't have it, you'll go down the drain, so you might as well have it. That's what he's saying here. This world is not for the non-sacrificer. Then how will you gain anything else? So you are happy performing sacrifice. You gain success because you perform actions of high quality. And the third is you evolve spiritually. So what a relief. Evolve spiritually means your desires decrease. What a relief you get when you're free of desires. It is the desires that hold you like this. And it is the desires, unfulfilled desires, that cause agitation, that cause stress, that cause hypertension, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and all kinds of things. So the moment you are able to hold your desire under control, you are evolving spiritually, you are happy, what comes out of you is enough. That's why he says, nectarine remnant of sacrifice. And what happens? You evolve spiritually till you get to the state of realization. Realization is the state of infinite bliss. But you don't have to wait till you get to realization to experience that bliss. As you go along, every step that you take in the spiritual path rewards you amply. There is no other pursuit where you are rewarded at every step except the spiritual. And then, if you don't perform yajna, what happens? Right in the beginning, in chapter 2, Krishna tells Arjuna, he says, why on earth are you performing such action? Kutastva kashmalamidam, how on earth have you degenerated to this state of selfish activity? It will get you neither success, nor will you be happy, nor will you evolve spiritually. Elsewhere he says, na sukham, na siddhim, na sukham, na param gatim. You will not get siddhi, success. You will not get sukham, happiness, nor will you evolve spiritually. So why are you doing this? He can understand everything except this. So, yajna shishtamruta bhujaha, the remnant of sacrifice, the result of sacrifice is very sweet. That's why you get prasad at the end of a spiritual activity. You know that? Including tomorrow you'll get prasad. But you wait till. Next verse, 32.
Evam bahuvidha yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidhitan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase.
Thus, various sacrifices are strewn before Brahman. Know them all to be born of action. Having known thus, you shall be liberated. So there's no doubt about it. There are no ifs and buts. You're assured. Bahuvidha yajnaha means the sacrifices that you can perform are not just 12. 12 is only an example of all that you can do. Every perception, every emotion, every action, every thought can be dedicated, offered as sacrifice to the Lord. So thus, various sacrifices are strewn before Brahman. Vitata Brahmana Mukhe means there's a suggestion that Brahman, God, is a witness of all activities. And it helps you to develop that same objectivity. The capacity to be objective in life as against involved and excited and entangled is one of the most important qualities of a leader. If you want to achieve something in life, if you want to contribute to society, you must learn this ability to stand apart from the situation. Stand apart doesn't mean indifference. It means a combination of genuine concern and interest in what's happening, and yet a certain objectivity, a certain understanding that whatever has to happen will happen. I've done my best, the rest I leave to that higher power, that divine power. So this objectivity, if you don't have, you get muddled in it, you create a mess in every situation. And that's what's happening. Even those with good intentions, even the few unselfish people in the world get so entangled and involved in the work that they're doing that it loses the value completely. If you look at the totality, you must understand that what I do as an individual or what we do as a society has, in the larger scheme of things, it is an infinitesimal part of it. And so therefore, the flow of the totality will have its way. You just understand you have to do what you have to do and leave the rest to that divine force. He who made knew what it needed better than a man like me. That should be the attitude. Whoever created the world, the universe, or the people around us knows what they need best. We do whatever we can see. So this is the sattvic in it. Karmajan vidhitan sarvan. Understand, know them all to be born of action. Having known thus, you shall be liberated. Having known what? To understand that, as Shakespeare beautifully put it, if you want to understand objectivity, you should understand what Shakespeare says. All the world's a stage, and all men and women mere players. They have their exits and their entrances. So understand that the whole world is a stage, and you as an actor have entered the stage with a particular script, a certain role. Play your role to the best of your ability and exit when you have to. Don't hang around there and mess up the whole situation. That's what we do. Can you imagine? There are people who go on stage and they get so excited being on stage they don't want to leave. Haven't you seen this happen? You know, particularly with children. The little children, once a year they have their place in the sun. So they go so excited, they tell their parents, you must come, I'm playing the role of a fairy princess or whatever it is. And fairy princess means what? The parents go there thinking the child has a half an hour role. They go there and see this little girl has to flit across the stage. That's it. But the poor thing, she lands up on stage and she forgets that she has to exit. She's looking for her parents. Where are her parents and her brother? And the teacher is desperately signaling to her, come out, because the next girl has to come on stage. You and I are like that, this innocent little child. We enter the stage of life and you get so entangled, where is my friend and my enemy and all kinds of things, that you refuse to exit the stage. You have to be dragged out. All the world's a stage and all men and women are players. Play your role magnificently, like the best of actors. Play their roles beautifully and exit, and then it's a completely different personality. They're back to their original personality. Your original personality is Atman. Don't ever forget that. With this understanding, if you play your roles in life, what a magnificent performance you come out with. And the whole world will give you a standing ovation. But we've lost sight of our true personality and have got so messed up with the roles that we're playing that the world is only booing us all the time. 33.
Shreyan dravyamayadyajnat jnanayajna parantapa sarvam karmakhilam partha ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते.
The sacrifice of knowledge is superior to the sacrifice of wealth, O Parantapa. All action in entirety, O Partha, son of Prutha, culminates in wisdom. So here he is giving the hierarchy which we saw earlier. Once you are convinced that you must sacrifice in life, that you must give in life, what will you give? How best can you bring about a change in society? How best can you give? So just as in organizations they do an audit, right? In commerce, you do an audit of your, activities, finances. Similarly, in the spiritual field also, you must do an audit of what you're doing. Not just get caught up in the activity. Is it the right thing for me to do? Is there something better that I can do? Can I use my time and my efforts to bring about a greater impact in society? Is what you must think about. And that's what he's giving us an indication. He says, Dravya Yajna. So let's see why this hierarchy is there. When you do Dravya Yajna, wealth, when you give wealth, what are you giving? You're giving only sense objects. And therefore the quality is the lowest, quantity also is low, you're giving only objects. Second, when you do Tapo Yajna, that is penance, you're giving your body, your physical activity, effort. So qualitatively it's superior to just giving material objects, and quantitatively you're giving, at Tapo Yajna, you're giving wealth, sense objects, plus your physical body. Next, Yoga Yajna. Yoga Yajna is where you're giving your mind and intellect, subtle body, which is qualitatively superior to the other two. And quantitatively you're giving all three. You're giving your mind and intellect, you're giving your body, and you're giving material objects. Last, Svadhyaya Jnana Yajna, the Yajna of self-knowledge, where qualitatively what you're giving is Atman, the self, and quantitatively you're giving everything. So therefore, if you really want to bring about a change, if you really want to give, if you really want to make a difference in somebody's life, you decide what to do. This is the hierarchy. So therefore, when you next want to give a gift, a birthday gift or an anniversary gift or whatever it is, what do we think of? First thing that comes to our mind is mithai or cake or something like that. That's the worst thing you can do. Think of something that will help change, make a difference in the life of the person. Give a book, Yoga Yajna, or better still, give a spiritual book. And then you find that the recipient of the book at that time may not think about it, but sometime in his life he'll think about it and take it out. Usually a spiritual book is something that is not thrown away, it's kept. So this is something we need to think of. Then he says, all actions in entirety culminate in wisdom. So receipts, you see, as you go up these 12 yajnas, the whole thing ends, whether it is receipt of stimuli, or it is reaction in the mind of the intellect, or it is responses back into the world. Ultimately, the whole thing culminates in wisdom. Therefore, the theme is how to separate Atman from action. This is what he started with right in the beginning. You remember, Krishna says, I will teach you action. Having known action, you will understand what is Atman. Verse 34.
Tadvidhi pranipatena परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानम् ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः.
Know that by obeisance, by questioning and by service, the wise, the seers of truth will teach you the knowledge. Now in this verse, it's a brilliant verse. He gives the qualifications of a student and the qualifications of a competent guru. So, who is a student? Who makes for the best student? The attributes of a student are, number one, pranipata, obeisance. Pranipata literally means surrender. Surrender is done in the Indian tradition. It is sakshat namaskar, sashtang namaskar. Sashtang namaskar is where your head and heart are in line with the feet of the Guru. So there is a significance to that, there's a meaning to that. What it means is your heart, you've surrendered, and your head, your intellectual thinking are aligned to Brahman, Atman, on which the Guru stands. So it's not just obeisance to the personality of the Guru, you are paying obeisance to what he represents, which is Atman. That's why in our tradition, we have, in the Indian tradition, we have this custom of touching the feet of elders, touching the feet of those who are wiser than us, touching the feet who are superior to us in any sense of the term. Why? Because those who are superior, the wise, are supposed to be established in Brahma Vidya, in Atman. And therefore, what you are paying obeisance to is Atman. Pranipata is surrender. Why is surrender important? Because you see, there is a basic difference between the Guru's understanding, perception of things and yours. So he has knowledge, we are in ignorance. The student is in ignorance. From the state of ignorance, if he tries to assess whether the Guru is right or wrong and is judgmental, waits to pass judgment on the Guru, there is every chance that he will go wrong because he doesn't have the knowledge with which to judge. Not only in the field of spirituality, this happens in every field. God forbid, if you have a legal problem, you have to decide which lawyer to go to. How will you do it? You are in ignorance. You don't know what constitutes a good lawyer, what is the difference between a good lawyer and a bad lawyer. So you are essentially at a disadvantage. Therefore, it is necessary to surrender. This doesn't mean blind belief. What the purpose of surrender is, it helps you to calm the mind. With the calm mind, your intellect is open to receive knowledge. Communication channels are opened. So what must you do? Particularly in the spiritual field or in any field for that matter, take a look at all those who are available. And then come to a conclusion that, okay, of say 4 or 5 that I have seen, this particular person suits me best. And I feel the person is best suited for me. I will learn maximum from the person. Having arrived at this conclusion, having decided that I will go to this particular lawyer or this particular doctor or chartered accountant or spiritual guru, the principle is the same. Thereafter, don't question his bona fides at every stage. When you are questioning the bona fides, you are effectively ruining your chances of gaining knowledge. Therefore, pranipata is important, surrender. The next, pariprashna. The belief should not be blind. You must question. Question not with the idea of challenging him, but with the idea of gaining knowledge. Because when you follow the advice of a person, the action that you perform must come out of your conviction, not his. And therefore, if you are to be convinced about it, wherever there are grey areas, wherever you have questions or doubts, these must be clarified. Only then will you perform action with conviction. So question. And the third, seva. In the Indian custom, knowledge was always given free, as it is given here. There is no fee attached to it. But that doesn't mean you say, nowadays we are in the habit of opting for free things. Anything free you grab. But you must understand that when you take things for free, it imposes an obligation on you, seva. So therefore, there is this attitude, gratitude for what you have received, the most invaluable spiritual knowledge we have received from the gurus of yore, not just one guru, the whole line of Guru Shishya Parampara. And when you receive it for free, you must feel this sense of indebtedness and contribute your might towards keeping that knowledge alive. Seva is not for the guru. No sensible guru in the world will want anything from the student. But seva is necessary for us, because unless one is grateful, if we are not grateful for the knowledge we receive, and if we don't do our bit towards carrying this forward to future generations, then we are not fulfilling. Then the knowledge will not come to us. An essential aspect of spiritual knowledge is to do seva. So, having given the qualities of a student, then he gives the qualities of a guru. It's not as if the guru is let off the hook. The guru has to meet with stringent quality control. What is it? Jnanina tattvadarshina. He must be established in the knowledge of the higher. Not just book knowledge, but must have lived it. And second, he must be a good communicator of the knowledge. It's very difficult to get a combination of the two, even in any other subject. Sometimes you come across brilliant scientists, Nobel Prize winners, but you ask them to teach, they are unable to teach. You find people who are excellent teachers, excellent communicators, have a way of dealing with students, but knowledge deficient. So therefore here he says, a guru is one who is established in the knowledge and is good at communicating. So the message to us now, don't say, oh, in this Kali Yuga, where will we find a guru with these qualities? No. You inculcate, you cultivate the qualities of a student, and the promise that he holds out to us is the guru will materialize before you. You don't worry about the guru. You take care of yourself. So, pranipatena prashnena sevaya. Make an attempt to think about these three qualities and how to imbibe them, how to absorb them into our system, integrate them into our system, and see what a difference it makes in our life.